Beardsley was proving his fitness in Everton's reserves at Blackpool, and today he's back after missing 4 senior games to face a Coventry side against whom he scored a hat-trick here last season. Indeed, Peter needs just 3 more goals for 150 in league football. Beardsley plays up front with Tony Cottee, while in defence, another former England man, Martin Keown, makes his first appearance of the season. He's been injured since the European Championship. At number 7, 19-year-old Billy Kenny makes his league debut. His father used to play for Everton, and he'll get some good advice because there are 3 captains in the team. Besides Dave Watson, Everton have the captain of Poland, number 2, Robert Vajika, whose team drew in Holland, and number 10, Barry Horn, captain of the Welsh side that won in Cyprus. And it's nice to see Ian Snowden back on the subs bench. He's been out for nearly 2 years with injury. And talking of captains, Coventry welcome back their skipper, number 10, Stuart Robson, who has missed the last 6 games with a virus complaint. But they're without their 2 main strikers. Robert Rosario and Kevin Gallagher are both injured, so number 6, Peter Unlove, and number 11, John Williams, will forsake their wide positions today and play through the middle. The promising Irish teenager Tony Sheridan gets a place on the subs bench. Bob Hamer of Bristol is the referee, and Everton here playing from left to right desperately need a goal. They haven't scored here at Goodison in a league game since the 25th of August. They've only managed 2 in the Premier League at home in 5 games. And Howard Kendall, from the way they've lined up at the start, looks as though he's playing the 3 centre-backs, Keown, Watson and Ablett, with Vashika on the right and Hinchcliffe on the left, pushing into midfield. A 5-man system that Everton used for parts of last season. This is Ablett. Long ball by Dave Watson, but it's too long for Vajika. It's a lovely afternoon at the moment. There was a smatter of rain earlier, but sun's shining now. The pitch here at Goodison looks in excellent condition. This is very nearly an all-seater stadium now. Just a small section away to the left where nobody is standing, which is yet to be seated. Hurst, Cottee, Beardsley. Nice control from Beardsley. Oh, they've missed him so badly these last few weeks. Brings a new dimension to Everton's game, or indeed to the game of any side he plays in, Peter Beardsley. And this was good skill. Little bit of luck there perhaps, but close control. And when they were all looking at him and wondering what he was going to do next, he lined up a very useful shot. There's Cottee. And he gets the free kick, Tony Cottee. Now Hinchcliffe having a long look at this one, and that's his shot. Well gathered. Beagrie. Hinchcliffe. Beagrie again. Cottee goes through the centre, and out comes the goalkeeper. Straight to Barry Horn. And now Beardsley. That was a super piece of football. First by Beardsley for seeing that Ogrizovic was still on his way back, but the goalkeeper got to the ball. He recovered his ground well, Ogrizovic, here to make that flying save. Corner to Everton. Now Hinchcliffe's come across to take it, and Gary Ablett is forward, and so is Martin Keown. Flick on by Ablett. Nearly came out for Beagrie. There he is now. Ablett still in the middle. Beagrie gets the cross in. Flick on by Cottee. That was Vajika. Beagrie. Tackle coming in there from Borrows. This is Hinchcliffe for Everton. Kenny. It's Cottee who came deep. Vajika. And in it goes again for Beardsley. And Vajika nearly got on the end of it when it came back across. Beardsley once more involved. Cottee. Kenny. Horn. Keown. Oh, came back to Beardsley. We've only been playing 10 minutes, but the 4 attacks that Everton have had have all revolved around the same man. Here's Beardsley again. That's a good touch again by Beardsley. Beagrie now. Cottee is through the middle. This is Beagrie again. Beardsley. Horn. Beardsley. They've beaten the offside trap here. Hinchcliffe. Cottee. No, Obrazovic snatched it before it could whiz along the 6-yard line towards Cottee. Cross was by Hinchcliffe from the far side. Good play again by Everton. Nearly on the end of something there, Tony Cottee. Beagrie's flick. Oh, Pearce slip. This is Cottee. Beardsley in the middle here. Let it run beautifully to Horn. Vajika's outside him. Firing it across off the defender. Robson's header out. Kenny. Some of the football Everton have produced in this first 25 minutes is completely in keeping with their tradition. The passing and the movement and the understanding is first class. What's missing is the finish. Kenny Sansom. Williams isn't getting a look in at the moment against Watson. This is Beardsley. Oh, just look at that. Hinchcliffe. Robson. Shove by Williams. Push. Burrows on Beagrie. Free kick to Everton. Played back. Oh, and Beagrie! Well, there's the somersault. Was it a double or a triple? Doesn't matter. It's a goal that Everton have been waiting for since the 25th of August. And as Hinchcliffe just touched it back, Peter Beagrie lined up his shot, and that was rather reminiscent of our friend from Norway, wasn't it? The 28th minute of the match at Goodison Park, and Beagrie produces a stunning goal to take a lot of weight off Everton's shoulders. 1-0 and deservedly so. Kenny to Horn. Cottee wants it. Vajika's got it. Over Cottee's head. Oh, what a bad error. And the goalkeeper picked the ball up, and the referee's called it a back pass. Brian Burrows. It was a horrendous error in the first place, really, by the defender. He completely missed his clearance, Burrows, but the ball went back to the goalkeeper, and that, according to Bob Hamer, is the pass that is now against the law. It's right on the 6-yard line. Obviously, it's indirect, but either Beagrie or Hinchcliffe would look to... It's Hinchcliffe! Oh, good save! Steve Obrazovic threw himself out of the wall Well, I haven't seen a closer free kick this season, and that'll cause all sorts of debate again about the interpretation of FIFA's new directive to referees. And Hinchcliffe's looking to get onto that, cleared by Atherton. Corner to Everton. Taken quickly, Hinchcliffe. Beagrie. Sansom heads out for a corner on this side. There wasn't much shouting in the Coventry defence there, if any. This is Hinchcliffe. Oh, Beardsley slipped as he was about to strike the ball, and it's given Coventry a 3-against-2 situation. Love. He's going on his own. Oh, it's gone over Southall, and it's gone in. Peter Love has produced a goal for Coventry out of nothing. I think it may have caught Barry Horn and scooped up over the goalkeeper's head. But Love will claim it. And here he was, taking them on. The others to his right weren't going to be in the game here. He was determined to go alone. Watch Barry Horn make the challenge. And I think that hits Barry Horn's foot. And that's what lifts it up over a helpless Southall. But it's a goal again for the Zimbabwean Peter Love. 1-1. The amazing thing about that goal, as the referee blows for half-time, is that Beardsley was about to have a shot at one end, which could have made it 2-0 to Everton. He slipped, Coventry broke away, and Love in that situation, at the moment, has no fears. He carried the ball all the way, and that looping deflection put Coventry back in the game. Everything before then had been from Everton, including a fine goal by Peter Beagrie. Little conversation there before the second half started between Tony Cottee and Stuart Robson. Old colleagues, West Ham, I suspect. Well, they might have been discussing the weather, which has now turned from the sunshine of the first half to driving rain at the start of the second. Beardsley, lovely touch on the ball, but not by Beagrie. Beardsley's touch there was pure velvet. Well, they could be in here. Beardsley! Oh. Well, until then he was having the perfect game. You could have made a video of his first half performance and sold it entitled How to Play Football, but when the chance came for him to score, he dragged the shot across the goal. That's a good ball by Barry Horn. This is Bajika. Keown charging through. Martin Keown. Well done. Beagrie gets right underneath that. Off balance when he hit it there, Beagrie, but he applauds quite rightly the approach play from Martin Keown, who showed there what I suppose centre-backs, and there are three of them, should be doing, one of them anyway, lending the extra man in attack when their team are in possession. And he got himself right into the box there, took out a couple of defenders, little pull back, but then rather a wild finish. Robson touching it on to Burrows. It's Robson again. Fleming on this side. It was well played by Terry Fleming. Oh, why didn't he just... Well, it's too easy to say that, isn't it? It was a good effort, actually, but Love, to his left, just wanted it pushed back for a clear shot at goal. Hurst to take the corner. Love. Hurst. Pearce coming in at the back. There's a flag up. There's a flag up on the far side. That flag is still up. That would not have been a goal had the ball gone in the net. I rather think the linesman on that side, John Hilditch, thought that Andy Pearce fouled as he came in for the header. It was cleared off the line, but I don't think you'll find this would have counted. Love. Corner. Pearce will again make his way forward here for Coventry. He's about 6'4". Very handy man to have in your side when you get set plays like this. Number 5. This has come out to Lloyd McGruff. And there's Pearce. Oh, up against the underside. And how did it stay out? Everton surviving by the skin of their teeth. And the width of the crossbar with P2. Pearce's header. It was Horn on the line against the bar. Southall blocked the follow-up shot. Then in Love. Then number 7, Kenny on the line. Well, often you see a goal line clearance, but not 2 in succession on each post. Andy Pearce can't believe his luck. Horn and Kenny were the saviours of Everton there. David Watson starting off another Everton attack, but there haven't been many of those in this last quarter of an hour. Coventry are suddenly playing with the sort of assurance you might associate with a team who've yet to lose away. Love, a brilliant run again. 2 in the middle waiting for him. Still in Love. Williams. Good support play by Burrows. And now McGrath. Robson. Pulling away on the far side there was Love again. Now, I do want to see again this interesting incident involving Andy Pearce, because when he has the first header coming up now, it beats Southall. Now, watch the ball first, under the bar. Is it over the line when Horn heads it up against what? The underside of the crossbar or the net? That's a point that Coventry will want looked at again. Cotty. Beardsley. Oh, he's in here. Very good challenge. A very good challenge got to him in the end. I think it might have been Lee Hurst, number 8. This is the build-up, and Peter Beardsley moves into a good position inside the area. He tricks Pearce. Yes, it's Hurst who gets his foot wrapped right round that and doesn't foul Beardsley either. That's a super piece of defensive play. And now an emotional moment at Goodison Park as Ian Snowden, out of the game for virtually 2 years with injury, makes his reappearance, and he'll get a huge ovation as Barry Horn goes off to make way for him. Snowden was once classed as a possible England player, and the crowd give him the kind of reception he deserves for the way he's battled back. Snowden. Here he is again, wide to Beagrie. Well, either side could look back and say they might have won that game. Peter Beagrie put Everton ahead in a good spell, which they could have made more of. Peter Love equalised for a Coventry side who in the second half got better. And I suppose Andy Pearce will look back on the match and wonder if that header of his was in or nearly in anyway when it was cleared by Horn. But Coventry are still unbeaten away from home. Everton have at last ended their run of defeats, and the final score at Goodison Park is Everton 1, Coventry City 1.
Well, the heavyweights have moved out of Wembley and the cruiserweights have moved in. Alan Hansen and Lee Chapman. Nice to see you in the Norwich goal, despite the tragedy of losing his baby daughter to leukemia this week. A familiar lineup for Rangers, except Les Ferdinand wasn't fit and Dennis Bailey took the number 9 shirt. The commentator is Tony Gubber.
Alan MacDonald finds Bailey playing in the number 9 shirt in the absence of Ferdinand today. Goss turns and... Oh, that's fallen for Penrise. Great chance, and he chips the keeper, but he's just put it over. And that was the chance for Rangers to get the goal that they've looked like scoring, because they've been the better team, no doubt about that, in the opening quarter of the match. Crook. Oh, nicely laid down by Sutton, who got it back from Goss. Sutton again to Robbins. David Phillips has arrived as well. Oh, great touch! Marvellous bit of football by Mark Robbins. A one-handed save by Stagecool onto the crossbar. Now here's Sutton. Got away from Peacock, who's pushed him over. It must be a penalty. It was shoulder to shoulder between him and the young 19-year-old Chris Sutton. Sutton got the better of it, and as he tried to break away from the number 5, Peacock did everything he could to lean on him and make it as difficult as possible. And when Sutton went down, you feel the referee had no alternative. Norwich with a chance to get the goal if they can beat Stagecool. Bowen from the spot. Norwich lead 1-0, and are they on their way to the top of the Premier League? Holloway. Great ball. This is Bailey. Oh, it's an own goal, is it? No, it came back off the underside of the crossbar. How on earth did that stay out? Ian Culverhouse, in front of his own goal, lashed at that, and he smashed it against the underside of the bar, and it looked all ends up an own goal, but somehow it came back out. Robbins, Goss, Such, whipped in, Sutton's header, great goal! What a fine goal by young Chris Sutton. He scored both goals in the Coca-Cola Cup tie against Carlisle recently. Chris Sutton took up a terrific position for that header. He just got inside the defender Darren Peacock and he met it perfectly. Stagecool couldn't even move his feet. Bailey, Impey, Holloway. This is Ray Wilkins trying to get something going desperately for Queen's Park Rangers. Here's Bradley Allen. He must score. He has. The substitute makes an almost instant impact on the game. He's only been on a couple of minutes, Bradley Allen. Came on as a replacement for Gary Penrice. And he nicked that away as Brian Gunn came streaming off his goal line and had the composure to keep calm and not make a mess of a good opportunity. And that's now given Rangers something to chase with just over 10 minutes left to play. Queen's Park Rangers have only suffered one league defeat away this season. That was against Chelsea. Bardsley, whipped right across. Holloway wasn't quite wide enough for Brian Gunn and didn't really make the keeper stretch. But it's a spirited end to the match by QPR. Here's Sutton, who's got between the defenders. Sutton towed it well wide, and that's the last kick. Norwich remain unbeaten at home and have now taken 16 points from 18.
Well, a fairly brief look at that. It was quite a nice match, and I suppose Norwich did well coming back from that thrashing that they had.
Well, that's right. It's a sign of a good side that if you have a thrashing, your next game's vitally important. Even though it was a fortnight ago, they've come back today and beaten a good QPR side.
Yeah. You haven't played either of those yet?
Not yet. We play QPR next week, and they look quite good today, but I'm sure Mike Walker will be delighted with that performance. After the thrashing at Blackburn, many people thought their bubble had burst, but they've come back really well today.
OK. Well, Forrest against Arsenal is our other main game. That's coming up shortly. But first, let's look at the two Sheffield teams. United away to Leeds and Lee Chapman here. And Sheffield Wednesday at home to Oldham.
Carlton Palmer had only a bit part on the international stage this week, but he stole the Premier spotlight this afternoon with a goal of the month contender. Ron Atkinson used to say Palmer ran like Nijinsky and finished like Devon Locke. His first goal of the season was from real thoroughbred stock. Wednesday had David Hurst and Mark Bright in harness together for the first time. Hurst, combative as ever, forced the opening, from which Bright's lazy volley made it 2-0 in 17 minutes. Oldham, though, are a resilient side and launched a comeback with a goal on the stroke of half-time. It came from a sweeping move and a debatable penalty award. Paul Warhurst's challenge on Ian Olney. There was still a twist in the story, though. Chris Wood saved Nick Henry's penalty. Mike Milligan saved his teammates' blushes, but Oldham couldn't save the game.
Leeds manager Howard Wilkinson gave all his internationals the choice of sitting out today's match. All declined the offer. The champions went ahead 9 minutes before half-time. Cantona doing the crossing, Chapman the heading. Leeds haven't lost a league game at home for 18 months. But the alarm bells rang early in the second half. Paul Beasley heading Sheffield United level, and further chances that came their way were squandered. The penalty for that was evident just with 15 minutes to go. John Newsom played a free kick into the box. Speed of thought from Welsh international Gary Speed, and Leeds were back in front. 4 minutes later, the result was settled. Two more of Leeds internationals, Batty and McAllister, in on the ground floor. Chris White's header went onto the bar. He readjusted and successfully scored with the second attempt. Leeds emerged unscathed. They go to Ibrox at full strength.
Well, that was a pretty useful win for you. Did you enjoy yourself today?
It's never really enjoyable playing Sheffield United. They make it very difficult. They get the ball in behind you, and it's not the prettiest of games to watch at times, but a win is a win, and we're delighted with that.
We thought it was a long-range effort for you.
For me, it was, yeah. It was a long-range effort, 8 yards out.
Well, we'll have a look at it again then, shall we? Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it's all right me pulling away in the positions to score a goal.
Calling for it here.
Well, I am, but you have to have the ability and the vision of people like Eric Cantona to actually deliver the ball to me. And he puts in a great ball, and I'm obviously delighted with the finish.
Yeah, you scored a lot of good goals like that over the years. I suppose you played against each other many times.
Yeah, I've got a mark in my nose to prove that.
Now, nobody would have thought that Nottingham Forest would have been bottom of the Premier League at this stage of the season, but they went into this afternoon's match at home to Arsenal, having not won in the league since the very first weekend of the season. At the City Ground was Barry Davis.
It's fitting, I think, that Arsenal should be the visitors for the first use of the new Bridgefield Road stand at the City Ground. But it was Forrest who, back in 1886, presented Royal Arsenal with their very first set of red shirts. The new stand, which has Forest fans this afternoon in the upper deck and the Arsenal supporters below them, costs £4.28 million and seats 7,500 people. And it's the latest improvement to a ground which will eventually seat in excess of 30,000. The Trent End is the next stage, but for the moment the faithful there still had their wish and their place to stand. But whether standing or sitting, home supporters have seen only one Premier League victory this season, and that on the opening day. Gary Charles is a new face for this afternoon, recovered from a knee injury, and he's in a line-up which sees Roy Keane back in defence, and Ray McKinnon and Thorvaldal Oligson, the Danish-born Icelandic international, in midfield. But in the Arsenal line-up, there's no starting place for the Swedish international, Anders Limpar, and no fewer than 5 of those players played in World Cup matches on Wednesday. That, at this moment, will probably be worrying George Graham. Joe Worrell of Warrington is the man in charge. And as you can see, it's a lovely sunny afternoon. And the home supporters may be feeling that 3 draws on the trot are heralding another win at last. With other ideas. Here's Nigel Clough. The England captain, caught by one of the England front players who came off slightly worse. Nasty knock for Wright in the opening challenge. He stretched, caught Stuart Pearce, but came off much the worse. Crossley. Off Winterburn. Good follow-up by Charles. Crossley, good running by Charles, and let's see if he can find a good cross. He's got 1 or 4 to pick out. He was a bit too hurried, and he had McKinnon completely unmarked on the far side. Good break down the right side with Crosby. Did I inadvertently say Crossley? The goalkeeper would have had to run quite well to make that. It was a nice move, but not a good cross. Charles. Blocked by Merson. The breakout by Campbell puts it 2 on 2. Bit of sleeping going on by players in midfield. Here's Wright. And they've got too many to take on. But here's Smith. Well, initially Campbell caught them napping, and in the end it was Gary Crosby who got back to end it all. Bannister to Clough. Unlike him, didn't get it first time. Well won by Gemmell. Gone, really nothing as yet to report. Neither team has settled down. Here's McKinnon. Forrest ought to have had the best chance, but didn't make the most of it. Gary Charles once more, seeing a lot of the ball, as was Pearce early on. McKinnon. Crosby. 3 in the middle. One of them was Gemmell. Bowl got there first. Oh, it's a good shot and a good save and a good recovery. Shot was from Crosby. Really struck that very, very sweetly indeed, Gary Crosby. The goalkeeper did well because it came quite a long way. A nice little touch back, although it actually came off bold, and the shot from Crosby. And Seaman did well twice. Retired it to Pearce. McKinnon. Forrest throw. Bannister. It's his best touch for some few moments. Clough, the awareness there. This is Aldickson. The flag stays down, and rightly, but the chance is not taken. Arsenal defence all at sea then. Half of them were looking to the linesman. Clough's awareness in the middle of that was typical. After the run by Bannister, the ball had come loose. Clough, aware that there was Gemmell, played it through. Winterburn, who'd come across, who actually played Aldickson onside. All the substitutes warming up. Oh, goodness me. Steve bowled straight through, and the yellow card will come out. And absolutely rightly. Up to Clough. And it's a question of what happens to the other foot as well as the one playing the ball. Winterburn is alive to that, and this is Campbell, and this is a real chance, which is not taken. And Roy Keane comes out giving a real roaster to Gary Crosby for allowing Campbell to get away. Got inside Charles here. He didn't make it count. Aldickson making the run in the inside right position. Bannister seemingly surprised to receive the ball, but catches Adams. Clough is over on this left side. Everybody inside Clough. This is McKinnon. They had space on the near side as we look. Not enough use was made of it. Should really have been on target. Balls for Alan Smith from the Arsenal supporters. Ian Wright. Neatly down away from Keane. Got back for the second bite. Merson to take again, Bold in his usual position. Right behind him, almost centrally placed. Drop too short, Merson can try again. And Bold flicks on, and Smith! Alan Smith gets his first goal of the season in the 38th minute of this contest. And thereby marks his 200th league appearance for Arsenal and his 400th in total. So an important goal for Alan Smith, which puts Arsenal in front. Got the flick, and he finished it well, adjusting himself to guide it past Crossley. Clough trying to catch men out. Good cover by Dixon. Referee has a first look at his watch. He looks for a second time and then blows the half-time whistle. And the half that Alan Smith will remember for a goal which finally broke his duck this season on his 200th league appearance for Arsenal. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Arsenal 1. Old Big Head down at the bottom. His words, not mine, but I'm sure that position will give delight to nobody in football, because he's always had teams that like to play football. His 19th season in charge of Nottingham Forest, who are a goal down at the start of the second half. Looking for the second victory after 3 consecutive draws. And they're 3 points adrift at the bottom of the table, although with a game in hand on the next 2 teams, Wimbledon and Crystal Palace. McKinnon had a couple of good chances in the first half. Among the watchers, Mr. and Mrs. Taylor, and the England manager with a few comparisons to make. 2 right backs for a start. Gimel. Clough, just a foot in time. And good piece of play by Adams. He found himself on the wrong side for a moment, but just got a foot in to deny Clough. Clough just about to make the pass when Adams got there first. And then it came inadvertently off Jensen. Crosby. Still was around for a long time. Clough to the left, everything else right. Nicely played to Clough. Was faced by Dixon. The pass was intended for Orlickson. Pearce. Gemmell. A bit of a wild piece of play by Lee Dixon. Clough and Dixon again. Good header, Bannister. Had a one-hand catch initially, and then he just pulled the other glove across. Did David Seaman. Good play by Clough. There was quite an aggressive contest going on against Lee Dixon. Bannister with a good header. Look at this. One and then together. Campbell. Here up in support. Did well to take it. There's a break left side for Paul Merson. And he's inside Roy Keane. And the challenge for Charles just preventing a real shot on goal. Crosby. Bannister. Only 4 touches to play it out to the right. Charles. Bannister. Crosby neatly pulled down. Bannister. Still Crosby. Good shot off the post. Oh, and across the line and missed the other post by a whisker. The Woods certainly against Gary Crosby. He started this. Link with Bannister here. I think that pass was intended for Gemmell, but it came back to Crosby, who hit it well. Beat the left hand of Seaman, who was saved by one post, and then watched to see the ball roll away from the other. This is the best spell that Forrest have had. Kingsley Black. Clough. Lovely ball on. This is Gemmell. Good save by David Seaman. Good play that wins only the corner. But Tyler is up for it. And Seaman able to grab it. As Bannister got perhaps just a nick on it. Into the last 5 minutes. Arsenal still a goal to the good. Under the feet, staring Nottingham Forest in the face. Jensen. Keep ball from the Gunners. A memorable spell of that during the half, which ended with a near thing at the Forest end. Having to work from very deep. Keane made a good run and Clough saw him. Still a promising run. Keane once more. Good extra challenge too. Black stays down and rightly. Orlickson, Crosby. Oh no. He was far too far out to be able to score from there. But again, the sort of drive that Roy Keane supplies, which has been missing because of his requirement to play at the centre of the defence. Is there hope yet? Trying to find his way through the crowd. Well, one back by Clough. Pearce. But the final whistle goes with the Nottingham Forest captain in possession. And Brian Clough makes his way to the dressing room again to face a beaten team. He applauds the support that his team has been given, but the one goal by Alan Smith gives Arsenal a well-earned victory. Good in defence, and Smith at last breaking his duck to score the important goal. The nearest Nottingham Forest came when Gary Crosby was denied by the post. Final score, Nottingham Forest 0, Arsenal 1.
Now, I know you've said in the past that it's often difficult for club managers when the players are away on internationals. In total, you had 6, 5 of them playing today.
Yeah.
So you're relieved, I suspect.
Yeah, you're always wondering, especially if they've travelled. A lot of them done some travelling, and some of the players, somebody like John Jensen, he's hardly had a break all summer, coming direct from Sweden, so he's feeling the pace of the games just now, and it's one of these things you've got to put up with when you've got a big club and you're getting a lot of players on international duty. But I was just pleased today, probably to get the win.
How would you measure the quality of performance?
The quality is not probably as high as I would expect. I expect a lot higher than that, but this old adage in football, win when you're not playing at your best. Notts Forest, as usual, passed the ball about very well. A good side. Shouldn't be at the bottom of the league, and I don't expect them to be there for much longer.
Arsenal will be championship contenders, won't they?
Yeah, they weren't great today, but the secret of winning the championship is to pick up points home and away. When you aren't playing that well, Arsenal started badly, but they're coming good now, and they'll definitely be there or thereabouts come April.
And Forest having no luck at all?
None whatsoever. When things are going badly for you, they just don't go in, do they? Gary Crosby cuts in here. The ball, there's a bit of scramble. Tony Adams plays it. Comes again to Gary Crosby, hits it left peg. It beats David Seaman. And when, as I say, when things are going well for you, that's always going to go in. But when it's gone bad for you, you know, it goes past the post. The Forest are going to have to battle their way out of trouble. They're still playing some good stuff, but they're going to have to battle to get out of there.
They often have a poor start, not as poor as this. You were there, weren't you, for a season and a bit?
Yes.
Why do they start so slowly?
Well, I was there for 18 months, and I view my time there with great affection, but I did notice that the pre-season build-up was very light compared to my other clubs, and training throughout the week is very light, and I sometimes feel that maybe they're a little bit behind in physical condition when they start the season, and it takes them normally till Christmas to catch up, and by then it's too late for the league.
You'll be getting a phone call from Mr. Clough, won't you?
I'm sure I will.
Yeah. Do you think Brian Clough would go on and on, sort of, if they continue to struggle like this? Supposing they would go down or be close to going down, would you see him going on?
I think he'll carry on. Yeah. I think he'll stick at it. I think Forrest will get out of trouble.
All right. Well, now the rest of the game, starting with Spurs at home to Middlesbrough.
The appearance of Gordon Jury for Spurs, 24 hours after being found guilty by the FA of feigning injury, was a shock to many at White Hart Lane, and the Scottish international, only just recovered from knee surgery, must have thought things were going from bad to worse when Middlesbrough went ahead after only 1.5 minutes, Robbie Mustoe getting in behind the Tottenham defence. Jury had already suffered chants of cheat when Spurs were 2 down. Paul Wilkinson with his 7th goal of the season, but many will believe it should have gone down as an own goal to Neil Ruddock. The fight back came in the second half. The introduction of Naeem was crucial for Spurs. His pass to Steve Sedgley ended with the award of a penalty. Alan Kernigan judged to a foul. Teddy Sheringham made it 2-1 with his 6th goal in 10 games for Spurs. And it was Jury who charged into the box to set up a late equaliser. 18-year-old Spurs substitute Neil Barmby on the end of his cross. The Spurs fans were delighted Jury had decided to play despite the traumas of the last 24 hours.
Total dejection. I wasn't really sure if I was going to play today. I don't think I was in the right frame of mind, but speaking to the gaffer and my wife really told me to get out there and play and forget about things, and that's what I've done.
Spurs released video evidence today of the incident that led to their player being branded a cheat. The FA conceded that contact between Jury and Coventry's Andy Pearce had taken place. They ruled the Spurs player had feigned injury. Tottenham have appealed. Jury says he'll fight the case all the way.
I think I've got to do it. I think, as I said earlier on, it's a slur on my personality and whatever, and obviously with the video and whatever, everyone can see that there was definitely contact there. We're not trying to get the referee or whatever into trouble. We're just trying to say that, yes,